Come see the all-new Mazda CX-90, now on sale at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda.
That would be concerning and maybe set a precedent moving forward.
If you had plans to be outside, you might hit a couple of these little passing showers.
A drug bust and a few arrests made. Look at what they hauled in here.
Happy Friday. Sorry, bumped into you. It's headquarters around here. It's tight. I know. Just,
Get out of the way.
Hey man, I got shoulders.
This is Liz's world, and we're all living in it. We are fortunate for it. We absolutely know it. So yeah, welcome to that Friday, everybody. Did you want to do this like last Friday, the purple?
I think so. So it worked last Friday, right?
Right.
When the Tigers
then
won the
won the
Super
next
Regionals?
day.
Yeah, they did.
So
I think we had to do it again.
Right.
Had to wear the same thing, drink out of the same mugs.
Right, all the same.
Routine.
And actually, I think the drive last Friday was about the same. We're still looking pretty good out there right now.
We're looking great. It's quiet. There's nothing going on out there.
Okay, we'll take that. And it was just as hot and dealing with possible rain. So there you go.
Yeah, welcome to summer. But yeah, this is even unusual heat for our part of the world. And with that, we're going to be talking about an excessive heat warning here coming up in a moment.
Oh.
Right now, though, we've got mainly overcast skies that kind of started out this morning. That's a view over downtown, our Sky 9 camera, brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake. All right, let's give you a look at the excessive heat warning that we have in effect. That's going to run through 7 o'clock this evening. That actually is going to cover just about all of South Louisiana. Liz, if you can give me a max 1 when you get a chance there. So excessive heat warning in effect to warn of the potential of heat index values reaching or exceeding 113. There you see it in pink, southwest Mississippi and down along the coast. Heat advisory where it's maybe not going to get quite as hot, but the heat will still be an issue. All right, let me see my graphics now cooperating now. Give me just a moment here. Looks like my computer signed me out, so bear with me, guys. Bottom line is this dangerous heat's going to continue, it looks like, over the next couple of days. All right, here's a look at temperatures outside right now. Hey, we made it down to 80 in Baton Rouge, a little better than the 81 over the last couple of mornings, upper 70s to low 80s right now. We are still talking about a heat index even early in the morning. Feeling like mid to upper 80s in many areas. We have seen some slightly drier air dropping south this morning. A little boundary came out of some storms in Mississippi, so that's helped a tiny bit. But I think humidity values will rebound through the morning. And with that in mind, you can see the forecast heat index getting to or above 110 this afternoon. Yesterday it peaked at 112. In Baton Rouge, so you understand why we're talking about dangerous heat. Actual air temperatures today, low 90s at noon, mainly dry through the morning. 97 is what I've got for the high, and by mid to late afternoon into the evening we could see a couple of storms returning. Here's what we've got this morning. This has been one heck of a damaging wind event. This line of storms now nearing the Mississippi-Alabama border started out in Texas and Oklahoma, came across North Louisiana, Mississippi. As of earlier this morning, 180,000 plus customers in North Louisiana without power. We've seen the power outages growing in Mississippi along the path of that storms. So lucky that it mostly stayed just a little bit to our north. Let's give you a look at what to expect moving forward now. That complex continues eastward. Noon, we're largely dry, temperatures in the 90s. Into the afternoon, the HRRR still mainly dry at 3 o'clock. And then we watch to see if we get any storms bubbling, especially north of the interstates late afternoon into the evening. You see a few showing up, but as we've seen in recent days, most of the activity staying a little bit north and northeast of us. Heat index will continue to be an issue through the weekend. Look at these numbers reaching, maybe getting above 110, could get close to 115 at times. We don't see heat index that high very often in our part of the world. We do need to mention the tropics quickly this morning. Gulf of Mexico's quiet, Caribbean's quiet right now. Way out here off the coast of Africa, a tropical wave coming off. This is way early in the season. Don't normally talk about tropical waves coming off Africa in mid-June, but here we are. And part of the equation here is that the Atlantic is running so warm right now, so unusually warm, that it looks like there is a very real potential this could develop. I haven't had a chance to update my graphic. I'll check in with the Hurricane Center, but as of 1 o'clock, development odds were 40%. We should have a new update from them. It's going to move generally westward. here's the good, if you're really worried about it in our part of the world, it looks like with time there may be a break in the area high pressure over the Atlantic that will eventually allow that to turn northward, but still plenty of time to watch it. All right, back here at home, watch out with the heat this weekend. Highs in the upper 90s. Heat index could get above 110 at times. It's kind of more the same early next week, but finally maybe some relief as we get into the second half of next week. We're looking at highs hitting more so the low to mid 90s as those rain chances start to get a little bit higher. All right, let's get a quick check on your traffic this morning. Hasn't been looking too bad. Jared has more on that.
Certainly right, Dr. Steve. Thank you so much for that. You are looking live over at I-10 at College, and right now we're flowing fine both in the eastbound and westbound directions. We're going to continue to see this looking good. There was a little bit of construction there in the exit lane, but that looks fine right now. Meantime, elsewhere, we also are looking pretty good on I-10 over by Acadian Thruway. Back towards Bluebonnet is in good shape as well. Our current traffic flows map is showing that we really don't see that much. We've had absolutely no cones up in our viewing area for the entire morning. You don't see it right here, but on our TransGuide maps, we don't really see that much going on. Lots of green on our screen means that we are good to go. Again, no reports of any incidents or accidents or anything major that's going to hold you up. Plaquemine Sunshine Ferry is in really good status. Boat 1, Boat 2 looking good, and we should stay that way for the remainder. Hopefully, we'll stay that way for the remainder of the morning, guys.
Fingers crossed on a Friday. Not too bad, Jared.
Most definitely.
Thank you.
All right, as we kind of get you going on a Friday, obviously a lot of folks want to know what's going on weather-wise as I set up their weekend. The thing is, any given day, we are talking about shootings in Baton Rouge, and actually the breaking news this morning, working another one.
Baton Rouge police starting their Friday morning with a new investigation, this one in the Broadmoor neighborhood.
Yeah.
We're told this happened kind of near Barbara and South Haven,
right.
that part of the world. So think about that residential part.
Yeah. I actually used to live right there, the old heart of Baton Rouge. If you travel through Broadmoor, right there on Goodwood, if you're going away from Airline Highway and you're going along Goodwood until you get to Sharp right there, it's right before that curve as you get towards Sharp. That's out there, actually by the high school over there. But what happened here, the identity of the victim, that's all still being worked out.
And again, we're just learning this in the last 15 minutes of our show. So as soon as we get those updates, we're going to let you know. Those updates, of course, comes with your tips from Crime Stoppers at 344-STOP.
This as well.
Yeah.
So PD working that, FD working this. They had a fire earlier this morning.
Yeah, this look familiar to you? Edwards Auto Sales and Repair right there off of Florida?
At Scenic, right?
Scenic, yeah. Deanna was on his way in when he saw this kind of busy scene there.
Yeah.
This is right around 3 o'clock, 2763 Scenic Highway. A vehicle, multiple vehicles seen kind of on fire there.
In one of the bays. And so it's an auto repair shop. It's an auto repair shop, right? And so a vehicle in one of the bays catches fire. Okay, that can get out of hand pretty quickly, right? Crew on scene very quickly, knocked the fire down pretty quickly, didn't spread anywhere, as mentioned, nobody injured. Dealing with some smoke damage to the building right now. What caused the fire to get going, that's being investigated. We'll, of course, let you know. All that's going on. Ooh. This, though, the headline, locally, statewide, across the country, globally, my goodness, the hack. The cyber attack heard around the world.
And by now, you've probably gotten multiple alerts from us saying, hey, if you have a Louisiana's driver's license, a state ID, you could be impacted. So we're talking about information like, of course, your name, your address, but even things as sensitive as your social security number. Now, we do have to note the OMB did tell us that they don't believe anyone's information has been sold or shared just yet. But at 10:30 today, they're having a news conference. We're talking the state's top leaders gathering all of the intel they can to kind of share what they know at this point and how we can all best protect ourselves.
And so what they're going to, this is not one of those like little press conferences, news conferences that they do and then like we go and cover and we report back to you. We're going to bring this to you live as it happens, 10:30 on WAFB, WAFB Plus, 309 News app, online, streaming, because it is that important. 10:30?
That's the goal.
That's the goal. There you go. All right. The goal of this, a new law to hopefully keep those who deal with ankle monitors, those providers, to keep them more in line with the law.
The new law would fine offenders who tamper with it, but it would also fine the companies who manufacture these ankle monitoring systems. Just a couple of the components of this bill here. It's also supposed to require those companies to notify victims before an offender reaches them. So a number of different things here that our team is outlining. If you'd like to see more about what that bill entails, head on to this story in the 9 News app.
Kicks in August 1?
Yes.
This is new law? Kicking in right now, right? Okay, so Juneteenth officially Monday.
Yes.
But it's festivities all weekend, and we know Friday is part of the weekend.
I tell you what, communities all over the WAFB viewing area celebrating in their own way. Callie Hubbard just taking part in Ascension Parish for the Juneteenth festival that's happening tomorrow. Look, we know weather may be a concern, so you want to take precautions, kind of figure out that game plan before you head out that way. But whether it is going to be hot or not, they're still going to have it out there. I want people to come out and enjoy a good time.
So that's just one. You mentioned one of them. A ton of them going on in Baton Rouge. Pick a town, pick a community in South Louisiana. You got something going on. Probably a good spot to find it going on.
I tell you what, or Kirsten Wilbur, making sure you have all the information so you can figure out that weekend plan to celebrate Juneteenth here.
Okay, so that's going on here. This is soon to go on. Are you a casino fan? Are you feel lucky with the slots or maybe a table game or something new coming?
Listen, 4 restaurants, 700 slot machines, 4 gaming tables. Oh, sky's the limit, Matt.
Yeah, no kidding. So a sneak peek inside the Hollywood Casino, which is soon to become the Queen of Baton Rouge. You can actually look at the story. It's waiting for you right now. They hope to be up and running by football season.
That's the goal.
We'll see if they can make that bacon the big money. Meals. Trying to bridge the gap.
That's a number of different places, making sure children are fed. And we actually have some new information about that feeding situation in Port Allen. Whether or not you're a resident of Port Allen High School or West Baton Rouge, they're asking anyone to come out and pick up. They've got 1,000 different food boxes ready for parents and grandparents to pick up. This is going to be a week's worth of food for different families in need. And again, you don't have to be a resident of West Baton Rouge. But Matt, that's not the only organization.
No, there's so many. We've got that story waiting for you at WAFB.com and your 9 News app as well. Just find a spot and get on out there and make sure you get fed this summer. Speaking of summer, boys of summer, there's only 8 teams left, guys.
That's right.
LSU on the field in Omaha later today.
Yeah, and guess what? Today there's a chance of rain up there, but more so tomorrow.
Okay.
He was watching.
Wait, that's when the Tigers play.
Tell me if you've heard this story before. So yeah, we're gonna be watching radar now for Omaha tomorrow, even with the 6 o'clock start a little later in the day. So just something to keep in mind. Some people may be making the trip up there today. It's going to be kind of warm today, 90-ish for a high. Tomorrow looks like highs in the 80s, but obviously it is the rain. We'll keep an eye on it.
You want to drive up and pay a visit?
There are Major League scouts that are saying that LSU's current baseball team is better than most of the Major League farm teams.
I saw that story.
They are loaded with top draft picks. Their pitching is the best.
No pressure, guys.
No, not at all. Not at all. All good juju.
They're like, dang, thanks.
I know. Yeah. High praise.
Yeah, high praise.
You guys wore your outfits, they're good.
Yeah, it's in the bag now.
With the rain, this could also play into the good news. Good juju.
See you in 10 minutes.
Tigers.